You can go watch part 1 if you want to. It's a bit of an older video and I sound really lame in it, so if you're gonna watch it at like 1.25 times speed. But yeah, that's where I gave info about the anatomy and stuff. Here I'll be showing some examples of how that information can be applied and also talk about my recipe. Anyways, firstly I want to talk about recipes. In my opinion, arms aren't complicated enough to a point where you would need a recipe for them. Like, I just use 2 lines and 2 circles to sort of just define the pose. 1 circle for the shoulders, 1 circle for the elbow, and the 2 lines for the upper and the lower arm. If it's a muscular arm, I loosely scribble some of the muscles onto it, and then draw on top of that. For some poses, you would need to think about the form a little bit more. In which case I use a different recipe where I use a sphere for the shoulders. Not a circle, a sphere. A cylinder for the upper arm, and this drumstick shape for the lower arm. It's kinda like if a rectangle was lodged into an egg shape. That's kind of it. Now let me get to the examples. A really simple pose. We have the shoulders, upper arm is just flat, and the lower arm starts wider because of the forearm muscles and then gets narrower. I just use lines. I don't even really think about if the lines I've used have accurate proportions. Like I've missed the halfway point here. I just keep that in mind and draw the upper arm a bit longer than the guideline. Also notice this tiny bump on the pinky finger side of the hand. It's the ending of the elbow bone. It's just there, you can emphasize it or not. Another simple pose. The upper arm is mostly flat. The lower arm is also flat, but there's this small curve that the outer forearm muscles create. In my style, I really like to emphasize the elbow bone, so I exaggerate it a bit. When the person is skinny, the arms really just look like tubes. Just keep the outer forearm muscle and the elbow bone in mind. Also notice how, since the outer forearm muscle isn't really that defined, it just kinda falls with the arm. A back view. Mostly flat. There's a little curve on the lower arm. And there's also the elbow. A slightly chubby arm. Notice how instead of the shoulders cutting into the arm, they connect more softly with this curve. A muscular and chubby arm. The same as before, the flow is still there, but the shoulder muscle is more defined. A relatively muscular arm. We have the shoulder, the biceps, triceps, outer forearm, and the elbow bone. Just making sure the silhouette is right and adding a few lines is enough to portray the muscles. An example for how the forearm muscles squish. Also notice how the elbow bone is slightly slanted to the left. It's an extra detail really, but cool to portray if you want to. For a pose like this, it's better to think about the form first. Then you can add the extra details like the muscles overlapping each other and the elbow. A muscular arm. We have the shoulders, the biceps, triceps, the outer forearm muscle, also known as brachioradialis, the elbow bone, and the inner forearm muscles. First, get the pose right with lines, then scribble the muscles, then draw on top of this. One thing I forgot to mention in part 1 was this armpit muscle. I don't know its name, but it's there. Portraying it could give this anatomically correct look to your drawings. A back view of a muscular arm. The deltoids, the triceps, the outer forearm, the elbow bone, and lastly the inner and the middle forearm. Get the pose right, loosely sketch the muscles, and then draw on top of it, same as before. In this example, the artist portrayed the 3 different parts of the shoulder muscle as well. The rest is the same as before. Another back view. That's gonna be it for this video. I hope this was helpful. If it was, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. You can check my other tutorials as well. Thank you for watching till the end. Have a nice day.